Hi, I'm Kat, and this is our daily tarot. I pulled for us 6 cards today. The opening card that we have for today is the Six of Swords, which is some kind of transition through some emotional experience. So it's a smooth transition. When we look at this card, we can see there's 2 people that have their heads down kind of solemnly in the boat, and one person who is steering the ship. They're in this boat that looks kind of like a horse, and there's 6 swords inside of it. So how do we engage the mind to move us through emotional experiences? All right, it can be hard when we're in a place of, disturbed water or disturbed emotions to see where we're actually going. But if we can bring balance into the mind and give it some sense of history, then we are less confined to where the mind wants to tell us is happening in this moment. It's important to consider that we're always in a movement of some sort. So as much as the mind wants to, nail everything down and feel like things aren't shifting, they actually are always in movement. We're literally on a globe that's constantly in revolution and rotating at the same time. So we're always in motion. The challenge that we're facing today is the Four of Pentacles. So money is on our mind. Material matters are on our mind. They are of concern to us. We have a pentacle sitting on our head, across our hearts, and under our feet. So we're just trying to hold everything together. And it can be isolating, right? It can actually pull us away from the outside world when we are so fixated and focused on the material question. The way that we're going to get through that challenge, though, is the Empress card. So this is a major arcana reminding us to be in nature and to connect to our senses and to not always live up here in the mind, and to also consider that when we look out at nature, things are provided for. Birds find seed in the middle of winter, and roots are nourished as they're insulated underground, and they come back up out of, like with the encouragement of the sun in the spring. And during that time of spring, there's this huge rush of abundance, and it's available for everything that's out in nature. We even see plants grow up out of cement. There is this reflective quality when we look at nature that we can see abundance is there for everyone. And if we can acknowledge that, then perhaps we can get a little separation from this position where we're sitting, where, the material question is just all consuming and it literally pulls us out of the world. The ultimate outcome, as I said, we have 6 cards today, and usually we just have 4. So the ultimate outcome that came out for today is the Five of Pentacles. So more pentacles. I was like, okay, I want some clarity on that. And I got the Three of Swords, not a very cheerful card. And then I wanted more clarity on that, and I got the Nine of Pentacles. So we have a lot of swords and a lot of pentacles today, which is this energetic of being consumed in the mind with material concerns. Let's take a look at this Five of Pentacles here. The Five of Pentacles is about a choice in how we look at things. We can look at things as the most horrible situation in life, and that the world is casting a dim light on us, or we can see that through some of those harder material experiences, we were able to find a reserve in ourselves, a reserve of strength that we wouldn't have had we not had that experience. And it's so tricky because how we see things and how we qualify things and quantify things in the mind can leave us in this space, quite literally, of feeling like we are in the Three of Swords. It's like everything is aligning mentally to create this storm of the heart where we are consumed with worry and concern, and it's all that is on our mind, and then it ends up percolating into our emotions and our heart and just wrapping us up all in it, you know? But it brings me back to this card. So the Nine of Pentacles. If you look at this person in this card, they look like they are having some like relief from life. She's kind of in a break mode, you know. She's looking at her grapes, tending to her grapes, which are abundance, and she has this bird perched on her arm, so it gives this sense of leisure. And it's also a 9, so it's an energy of completion, and it is begging us to look at, are we done taking a break? Are we ready to actually engage in life in a different place of what we value, instead of being completely constricted by material concerns? Can we realize that this has a finality to it? It's time to complete this and wrap this up so that we can actually be in nature and enjoy what this life has to offer. And it's not all tied to having a big freaking coin, right? It's ultimately about our quality of life, who we share our life with, the exchanges that we have. And if we are so consumed with this idea of the material question, it pulls us out of those exchanges. It pulls us into this, you know, bricked, walled off area where we feel like we can't actually engage in the world. And it ultimately kind of governs over the way that we engage in the world. Well, let's have enough of that, right? Let's be done with that. Let's instead go outside and look at what we have gratitude for. Like, for instance, I've been missing having a dog for many years now because my sweet pup Miko died a few years ago. Of course, it's like an emotional thing for me. You could hear my water wells start to lift. And so I've been thinking about getting a dog for a while now, and curious, you know, if my life situation really allows for that. Well, I could be really down in the dumps and be like, "Ma, I'm so sad I don't have a dog." But something interesting happened. I live in the middle of a valley in the mountains, and a lot of people here let their dogs run wild throughout the day so they can visit their little dog friends. And I started getting some visitors a couple of weeks ago from my neighbor's pets, and they come to my house and they just let me love on them and give them all of the scratches and pets and rubs until my heart's content, and then they're happily content as they skip off down the road. And it's important that we reflect on that and we acknowledge that, you know, there is infinite love, there is infinite connection, there is infinite possibility when we just open our eyes and look up rather than looking down. It's all about perspective, it seems. So interesting cards today, you know. It can be a bit of a riddle when the mind starts like walking around in the same circles over and over and over again. It's kind of like that image of Scrooge McDuck walking around, and he's just like creating this trench in his footsteps, in his path. And we do that with our mind and anything that we focus on. And so can you maybe see through the storm to look for the rainbow? Can you look at the beautiful stained glass window and see all the colors out there in the world rather than looking down at your feet? Perspective is such a powerful thing when we engage it intentionally. I send you so much love today and a good wish as we get through all of these questions and these unknowns and these place of certainty, because just beyond that certainty, there's possibility. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for sticking around and letting me know that you appreciate these videos. It means a lot to me. Bye for now.